All right, very good. We are back from our running technique tangent. I can't stress this enough. I teach an entire class on speed, agility, and quickness and athletic performance. I teach another class that's all about Olympic weightlifting. When I tell you that we can spend an entire 8 weeks talking running technique as you work to refine your running technique to get you faster, we can definitely do that. So I'm trying to jam that into a 15-minute presentation. There's a lot of content in a short amount of time. But my point is, when you look at that from a top-down approach, I hope you can see like we could take this very dynamic movement pattern, like the lateral side skip, and then break it down into teaching from the force production to the movement pattern, or so the force production to the timing to the movement pattern, and then even to the point where we're doing just foot orientation and the squish and push. All right, so I'm going to get away from that soapbox, and I'm going to get back to this one. So with the book, when to use plyometric training, the book talks about training and work performance, and there's a difference, right? You're going to have some people who are going to be firefighters, policemen, first responders, perhaps they're tactical, they might be military. Those roles, they definitely can benefit from some of the higher level plyometric training. Uh, when you're in a combat situation, I mean, sure, you have to be cardiovascularly fit, but also you have to be very explosive and in a combat environment, be very explosive with purpose. When you talk about the typical office worker who sits all day, you may have to, in theory, work with them a little bit differently to actually build them up to working on and doing more plyometric oriented exercises because it's something they don't do. But I will say this, there's actually a wonderful article if you look on the NSCA website on the tactical side. It's one of the certifications that they have. They talk about how these individuals who are firemen, police officers, etc., many times they go from like zero to hero in a blink of an eye. They're sitting in their car, they have to chase after a suspect, they have to hop over fences, so you have this situation where you have to be able to respond and respond quickly as a police officer or even as a firefighter where you're riding in a truck to get to a scene and then you got to hop out of the truck and then run up a flight of stairs to save somebody from a burning building. So one can imagine how you'd have to train for one scenario, meaning tactical performance, versus somebody who comes in who works in an office 8 hours a day. It's different. You're going to have different demands. So with exercise and injury prevention regarding plyometrics, what they talk about is injury rates actually decrease following a plyometric program when you're talking sport-specific training and when you're working with athletes. And the rates themselves drop as a result of the body becoming more conditioned to explosive type activity. And the other side of this, the side benefit is it does things like improves bone mineral content, muscle recruitment gets better. I'm gonna get myself out of the way. You have better body control and balance, both on the jumping side and the landing side. And it also helps teach a little bit of kinesthetic awareness in terms of how to control one's body because you're creating a lot of momentum when you jump, and you have to be able to overcome that and help slow and decelerate when you land. So there's a couple different benefits that happen here, but it's not saying that you're going to put your 80-year-old client and have him jump on a 24-inch box. You might have people just hop from one foot to the other foot in a low-level plyometric exercise. It doesn't take much. Now, the book points us out, just a little sidebar here, and I like this. Although plyometric training is primarily thought to enhance athletic performance, other populations may benefit as well, which I agree. Along with increases in power, properly applied plyometric training programs have been shown to decrease injury rates and improve bone mineral content, muscle recruitment, strength, and body control balance, to which we just spoke about and to which I also agree. So guys, it's a short presentation. It's actually two of them. Who am I kidding? But what I want to get across in these two presentations is if you look at like the running technique warm-up, we're actually sneaking in a little bit of low-level plyometric work, and it's a cause for a conversation of potentiation and getting the body ready to actually do some sprint work. But where you can take that is you could do some of those low-level plyometric movement patterns in running technique warm-up, light skip, pitter-patter, foot pattern, little things like that with perhaps your office client to work on their neurological side to be able to get them to be a little bit more neurologically tuned in before you even do some box jumps or do some broad jumps or anything that requires people to do a jump and then therefore a landing, right? So you have to prep your people for success or they're going to fail. And I'm telling you, from a coaching standpoint or a training standpoint, if you know you're going to do plyometrics with your client, you want to introduce those into programming. Several weeks before, you need to start introducing ways for your clients to do those exercises and do them in a way where they will be successful and be able to complete the tasks that you're going to provide for them. I want you to jump on a 12-inch box, then I need you to learn how to just jump and land correctly. I need you to know how to do a quarter squat movement pattern without your knee buckling in, valgus. I need you to know how to step off and just land and catch your body weight off a 6-inch box. Those are the types of things you can use as progressions towards jumping up onto something or jumping over something like a micro hurdle. All right, I'm signing off and moving on to the next presentation. But I will leave it with this. Always set your clients up for success.